Yo, how's it going? We are live. How is everyone? Just got pinged for GU as well, right off the bat. Perfect, right off the bat, we got a setup on the way. Right off the bat. But we'll get into that in just a sec. We're not missing anything as of right now. But let's get some hellos, guys. Let's get some hellos in the chat. Let's get some hellos. It's been a few days. I think we didn't do a stream on Friday, did we? So I haven't really spoke to you since Thursday. It's been 3 or 4 days almost. Let's see who's here. Let's see who is here. Hello, how is everyone doing? Everyone had a good weekend. Everyone had a good weekend. But yeah, we're live. We are live. Hey Stacy, Bilk, Mike, Mark, Dan, Eric, Terry, Curtis. Yo chat, we're back with a banger. We are definitely back with a banger. Let me show you the trade we caught just before, live on the Discord stream. We caught this before. Hey Emmy, how's it going, man? But this is the banger we caught before. We caught this trade before. Easy, you know how it is. Straight to take profit. No stress, no mess. I was asking for a banger. We needed the banger, and we got the banger. You know what I'm saying? But let me show you TikTok. If you're on TikTok, let me show you the trade we caught. How do I flip the camera? This should just show how much of a noob I am. Yeah, flip camera. This is the trade we caught today, guys. We're going to look for another one now. There is another one lining up on GU. But this is the trade we caught live on stream. But yeah, like up the stream if you haven't already, guys. Like up the stream if you haven't already. We're gonna get straight into this now. We just have a sip of my 7-Up. We will get started. I can walk you through this if you want, but it's pretty straightforward. We had an accumulation here. We then manipulated up. Technical close outside the fair value gap. Technical close. So like if this was a trade, we wouldn't take this trade. If this was like if we were looking for buys here, let me just reword that. If we were looking for buys here, we wouldn't take that trade because although we have the IPG, there's obviously other reasons as to why, other than the technical close. But there's a technical close there. We came straight back down, inverse this fair value gap right here, inverse this one. It gets a little bit messy here, so just keep your eyes peeled, right? We inverse this one right here, enter the trade just after this close. Not gonna lie, got a slightly better entry because my MetaTrader was messing up. Apparently, the way I put my take profit in is I copy and paste it because I'm on a Mac and you're on an iPhone. I don't know if anyone knows, but with that, like when you copy something on your Mac, you can paste it on your iPhone and vice versa. So we did that, didn't work. So it delayed the entry quite a bit, which is actually quite a good thing. And then we obviously just reversed and went straight down to take profit in like 2 candles. So we were in that trade for literally like 5 minutes or something, 10 minutes. Targeted the 1 hour fair value gap, right, which is this right here. Because the 1 hour total liquidity needed to retrace back down. It's just formed it. The 30 minute needed mitigating. The 15 minute needed mitigating. We've mitigated the 2 hour and the 4 hour, which were both bearish, and the daily was bearish as well. So we had a lot of reasons to come down. What do you exactly define as a technical close? So it's just something where it's like very close to the fair value gap, because what an IFEG is supposed to tell us, right? An IFEG is supposed to tell us like volatility and volume, because the fair value gap shows us volume coming in because we start pushing in one direction, and then we obviously reverse, go straight back through it, and it shows volatility, right? But when we do something like this, where we form it and then we come back up, regardless of how many candles, because we're not looking for an entry, so ignore that, but when we barely close, it shows there's resistance there, and then all you have to do, it doesn't completely invalidate it, but all you have to do then is just wait for the next candle, right? Which we did, and the next candle was, slightly bearish, a very small body, very large top wick, so a lot of resistance there. So with that, that shows that we're kind of still respecting the fair value gap. Then we push down, and the rest is history. But we inverse the fair value gap, kind of, but you could argue, this is the reason we wait for like the next candle or an obvious close, is because also we could have just been like, you never really know, you could have just been like here the whole time, and then the next pip, like the last 2 seconds, we push up a couple pips and then close outside it. It doesn't really show anything. But if we do something like this, or like this, for example, this black candle inversing this bullish fair value gap here, that is, you can't argue with that, you know what I mean? That is a clear disrespect of the fair value gap. So that's basically what it is. Now, I can't really give you, like Andy, I can't really give you a figure and go, when it closes outside by just like 2 or 3 pips, then it's still a technical close, because it depends on the size of the fair value gap and stuff like that. But that's basically what it is. And you'll learn to pick it up as you trade. It is more just about like intuition and practice, more than anything. But yeah, that's the trade. So we got a technical close there. So basically respected this bearish fair value gap on the 5, inversed the bullish on the 5 after accumulating and sweeping liquidity. So we took the entry there, and in 10 minutes we had a full take profit of, it says 4R, but it was really like 1.7, 1.6. So that is the trade. If you're on TikTok and you have any questions, or in general, if you have any questions, ask me them. Can you show what you're referring to? Yeah, let me show you. So this is the trade that we caught. You can see we had the technical close here, inversed it, and then continued down. But we are looking at another trade right now. There is a potential setup on GBPUSD, which we're going to break down in just a sec. Like up the stream if you haven't already, guys. We're back. We're fully back. If you haven't heard, I'm live every single weekday now. From now on, at 2:30 p.m. UK time, every single weekday, we are live. Well, let's have a look at GU. So there is a small fair value gap here. We could take this. Did we mitigate that fair value gap though? What even is this? What fair value gap even is this? Don't even know. So deleting that, but we could take this trade. There is a 4-hour that hasn't been mitigated though. We took liquidity, 2-hour, took liquidity, still needs to mitigate this. 1 hour, took liquidity again. Obviously it's took liquidity on all these different time frames, but the 5 minute has accumulated, kind of what it did with GJ here. We've accumulated, came down, took liquidity, then inversed this fair value up in the next 45 seconds. If we take the entry, the stop loss is going to be a little bit bigger than we want it to be. The take profit can be these highs up here, but that's a bit of a stretch. I can't lie, it's a bit of a stretch. I cannot lie, it's a bit of a stretch. So, I mean, we could take it, the 5 minute aligns, the 15 minute kind of aligns as well, because it's took the lows, needs to retrace. The 30 minute needs a retracement back into the fair value gap. The 1 hour also needs a retracement back into the fair value gap here. So that also aligns. The 4 hour is kind of bullish because it's took these lows, but there is a fair value up here that hasn't been mitigated yet, which we're bearish towards. The daily is bearish, I think. It's bullish now because we've respected that fair value gap. There we go. So that's what that was. We haven't fully mitigated it yet, which is annoying. So I don't really know if I want to take that trade. But I mean, you could if you want to. We've got what? Is that it now? It's inversed it. I'm not going to take this trade. You can if you want to, but I'm not going to take this trade. I'm not taking this trade. Just don't really like it, to be honest with you. But, you know, if you're gonna, let me know. But, you know, we got the IFEG there. Everything's kind of valid. There's just a few little contradictions, like with the 4 hour still being kind of bearish. This fair value up on the daily still kind of needed mitigating. Like, for example, the trade we took on GJ, for the people who are in the Discord, we took a trade on GJ and we had more confidence because there's a 30-minute and a 15-minute that hadn't been fully mitigated yet, right? That's the same situation here on GU, but like in the opposite direction. It's against us this time. So we can't really ignore it. Hey Rednacks, how's it going? Well, yeah, I don't like this trade. It looks like it's justified. You know what I mean? It is going against us now. Yeah, like up the stream if you haven't already, guys. How many likes we got on YouTube? Looks like we did the right thing here. You know what I mean? Looks like we did the right thing here. I'm not taking this trade. So I'm pretty happy with that. Because that's 2 setups we've seen today. 1 win. Or 2 setups we've seen. We took one of them. Right? And ignored the other. The one we took won. The one we ignored has pretty much lost. I think it's safe to say now. Hey Bill, how's it going? Bill, I'm in gold buy. Could check for me. I will check for you soon. Let's just see how this GU trade plays out. But yeah, if you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, I am live on YouTube every single day. So just search up Josh Williams FX on YouTube and you will see me there. Like up the stream if you haven't already, guys. Can you please show us how do you journal and where? Also, how do you analyze? I can show you how I analyze the charts, but I mean, I'm not going to directly show you. You can just kind of pick it up as you go along. You know, just watch the streams. But I will show you how I journal trades in just a second. Let's just see how this trade plays out. Then we can look for the next setup. I think someone was saying gold. There's a long position in gold. I mean, if you're using this IFEG, that kind of makes sense, but I don't really like how it's inversed it. Eric likes to go. Cheers, appreciate that. Let's see how this trade plays out. So that's 2 setups we've seen today. One of them we took and it won. One of them we ignored and it has clearly lost because there's a few little contradictions there. And I've said this numerous times, like with this fair value gap, we use this as a confluence to take the trade. On that GJ trade, we used the confluence, we used the fact that there was some slightly unmitigated fair value gaps to take the trade, right? And now we're seeing the exact same thing on GU, just contradicting us instead. And look how it's playing out. You know what I mean? I don't really need to say much more than that. But if you have any questions, guys, ask me them. Whilst we wait for this to play out. It is a no news day as well, so you would expect slower markets, but we haven't really had that. We had a good win today on GJ. Let's see how this trade plays out. Once it's hit the stop loss, which it's clearly going to do, we can then move on and look at a different setup, right? I'm not in this trade, just to clarify, we're not in this trade. This is just something to be seen. We chose not to take it because there were a few contradictions, and it's clearly, being the right choice to stay out of this trade. But let's see how this plays out. This daily still needs mitigating. So the daily, this is pretty strong. But if anyone's seeing any setups or any charts they want me to look at, let me know and we can break it down for you. Please let me know and we can break it down for you. Big push down on GJ. Oh wow, yeah. Maybe we could have held that a little bit longer, but if you look at where my take profit was, we took profits here and then it started consolidating straight away. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. Walked away with what, 1.6, 1.7%, something along those lines. Cannot complain with that. Right. But yeah, just to clarify, we're not in this trade. Let me write that down actually. I don't want people to think we're in this. I think we're just going to move on from this. But let me show you how I journal the trades. I think someone asked that before. Let me show you how I journal trades. This is a pretty new journal. Like the old one we used to use was this one. And this isn't updated. This needs to... It hasn't, like, it's literally just not even a formula, it's just a number. So this is how I used to journal trades, right? This is how I used to journal trades. So what would happen, it's pretty straightforward, pretty clean. But what I like about this new one, which we started using at the start of this month, is it's just a lot cleaner. Like you can see the trades, right in front of you. You just click on one. Let's go on this GBPJPY sell. Excuse me. And it breaks it all down for you. Now, how do you use it? So obviously you just put in the title, GBPJPY sells, the date, the time, the bias, all of that stuff, and just kind of, you know, break it down from there. But I mean, yeah, I really like this new journal. So that's what I use. I use a Notion journal, which only the course members have access to this. I would say join the course, but there are no spots left. It's completely shut at the moment, so too bad. But it is a great journal. It is a great journal. But let's go back on the chart. So obviously this trade, I'm glad we didn't take this. Stacy said, if we were going to take a buy on GU, would we wait until it respected the 4-hour fair value gap? The 4-hour fair value gap isn't too much of a big deal because it's took liquidity on the way down to that. The main thing that kind of put me off was the fact that this daily fair value gap wasn't really mitigated, and also we didn't have like a fair value gap that we were respecting as we kind of came into this. Like, one thing I've picked up is the highest probability ICT setups come from a higher time frame fair value gap being respected, and then that gives us like the ICT thing, or not even a higher time frame, just another fair value gap being respected. Like GJ, for example, the 5-minute was respected here, and we came down to that, right? 1 hour fair value gap that needed to be mitigated fully, just exactly like the daily. So I would say it's more about the daily, Stacey, than it is about the 4-hour, to be honest. It is more about the daily than the 4-hour. But let's move on. If anyone's seeing any setups, let me know. We can break them down for you. We'll have a quick look. You know, something to do. We've took a trade today. We've made 1.6% live on stream. So I'm not in any rush to take a trade, which is a good thing, obviously. But, you know, I'd still like to take one. This just like it's going to come for the stop loss now. There we go. So, loss avoided. So 2 setups today. Just going to repeat this for anyone who missed it. We've seen 2 setups today. One of them we took and it won. One of them we avoided and it lost. So we've done the right thing both times today. You know, old me probably would have just jumped straight into that and just took it because it was there and it was something to do. But we're good. There's no pressure to take a trade today. I think that's probably one of the main things as well. But yeah, I'm happy. We're up. We are up. Euro JPY, GU could still be a setup on GU. To be fair, like we could still get a set. We could just get this. We could get the same thing just a bit later on. Like, we're respecting the daily now. We've fully mitigated the daily. So if we form a fair value gap and then inverse it, we could still take that trade. Do you know what I'm saying? GC is manipulating now. I think GC we were looking for buys, weren't we? If we were to inverse both of these fair value gaps, but that hasn't happened yet. It is manipulating on the 5 though. But let's see how it goes. So I think obviously we don't have a fair value gap that could be formed yet, so we probably need a little bit more of a push down to form that fair value gap. Then when we form that, inverse it pretty quick. I think the bias is bullish, isn't it? I think Elizabeth, you were looking at this before. I think the bias is bullish, right? The daily is respecting or open, and it's around a fair value gap that it's mitigated, so it's bullish. The 4-hour is also inside of a 4-hour fair value gap and also took a 4-hour low, which is bullish, obviously. The 2-hour, the exact same thing. The 1-hour is the same. So, yeah, I think we could take this. And I think another thing as well, there's 30 seconds left on the hourly. So we're going to get an hourly fair value gap right here, which we could look for as our take profit. So if we end up going, we go back to the 5, we end up getting a setup that looks like this. If we take our entry as we inverse the fair value gap here, obviously stops below the low, whatever. But we could use this as a target, right? Is that the, that is the That's the 1 hour. Like, so we could use that as the target. This will be the move. So another 1.6R trade, hopefully, if we get that set up. But what we're going to do is we're going to set an alert at the low of the previous candle just to see if we do end up continuing bearish and move on to the next pair. I think, you know, we're up for today. We're up for the day. We are just going sideways on everything at the moment. Just gonna go and shut my window. One sec. Take you guys with me. Shut the window. If you have any questions, guys, ask them now, because, you know, there's not really much going on in the markets, and I think this is probably going to be the best time for me to answer your questions. Like up the stream, by the way, if you haven't already, like up the stream. The seagulls are seaguling. But one thing I want to do quickly look at is the fundamentals. So obviously there is none today, so you can expect it to be a bit slower. I was hoping New York Open would give us something, and I think it did. You can see that here. It did. Kind of. Let me show you. So we just want to have a quick look at the fundamentals. How quick we can use this. Nothing today, right? Nothing today. Tuesday. You know, there's one thing I found pretty weird about Tuesday. Is GBPJPY and USD, or America, UK, and Japan all have their like central bank representatives talking for them. You know, they got a Gov Bailey speech, Gov Ueda speech, and a Fed Chair or Jerome Powell speech at 2:30 tomorrow, all at the same time, which is gonna fuck shit up. Then at 3 p.m. we also have red folder, as always. But I mean, it's pretty boring. No one really likes that. No one really likes to look at fundamentals, but it's important. It is very important. So once a Bitcoin trade, I don't really see much here other than this, which has already happened. Would you say USD CAD is accumulating? Right now, it's manipulating. Could it be the setup though? We are respecting the 1 hour, so we're bullish. So it's not really any setup there, but I mean, yeah, right now it's starting to manipulate, it seems. Hit 50% on GU, Yeah, I've seen that. We hit on the previous, but I mean, it doesn't look like we're going to get a fair value gap. We need a bit more of a push down. Obviously, this is the daily, so it take the rest of the day to close below here. So we could end up pushing down, doing something like this. But we still need that fair value up to form. We haven't formed a fair value up, so it's going to be pretty hard to take a trade until we do that. But the 5 minute does have no bottom wick, and it's literally like just opened, so we could expect it to flip. Let me show you. This is the wick trick, I call it, right? You know, this candle, the 5 minutes just opened 40 seconds ago with no bottom wick, and it's obviously just going to flip to make that, right? It always needs to. It's the way like all candles form, but let me prove it to you, because why not? But yeah, if you're on Instagram or TikTok, go to Josh Williams FX on YouTube, and you can watch the full stream properly live every single day. I think it is just a pretty dead market today. Obviously, it's no news, so we're not really going to get anything. I think us taking that GJ trade was pretty lucky, because it was around the time there was going to be probably the most volume we'll have all day coming into the markets. But until or after that, there hasn't really been much. Everything's just started consolidating. I think GJ had a bit of a meltdown, didn't it? Let's have a quick look at that. It had a bit of a meltdown, you know, from our entry, or from our exit, sorry, which was over here, which is fine. But I mean, you know, there's not much else. But like up the stream if you haven't already, guys. Like up the stream. Right, so we're halfway through now. We may not get this bottom wick, but we should. You know, there's like an 80% chance we will. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, it is halfway through. So USFA, I mean, USFA. I haven't traded this in like a year, probably, right? Maybe definitely more than that. A while. It's been a while since I traded this. There's nothing here that I see anyway. You know, you can just kind of tell straight away. Like, I think when you get to this kind of point, when you've been practicing for so long and just doing it every single day for so long, you can just kind of tell instantly if there's going to be something or not. Right now, I'm not seeing anything. There is a fair value gap here, but other than that, it just looks pretty bearish and dead. GJ, completely reversed. GU, it's a minute left. Should make that bottom wick. Don't make a dickhead out of me. But GCAD, no fair value gap. You know, we were looking for this. This was the trade setup we were looking at, but we didn't push down and form a fair value gap, which is annoying. Or we haven't yet. We're still kind of accumulating. You could argue if we were to come down, it would look like that. But you know. But yeah, like up the stream, guys. How many likes are we on? How many likes are we on? Yeah, 21 likes. What is that, guys? Let's get to 30 likes. Come on. 30 likes. Gee, didn't film that bottom work. I knew you were watching. I know. We got another one here, but I make examples out of this so many times. That's like the first time it just hasn't done it. But you know, we caught a nice win on GJ this morning, or early this afternoon. There is not much here at all. Unfortunately, just isn't any trades. Gold, let's have a look at gold. Gold's bullish. I mean, so we can't really take anything on this other than a buy, and it looks like it's just retracing right now, so wow, USD CADs just fell off a cliff. One thing I forgot to do as well is actually put the stream chat back onto the would you consider dropping to the 1 minute on GBPJPY to find something? Would I consider it? It depends how desperate I'm feeling. Like, right now, I'm not in the position to do that. I don't really see a reason to drop down to the 1 minute and start fiending for a trade. You know, I usually stick to the 5, but we caught something on the 5, so I'm pretty happy to wait. I don't want to force anything. I don't want to, you know, beg for a trade. Because when you beg for something, it never really, like that, it never really turns out that well. But, I mean, you know, it depends as well, kind of. Like, the 1 minute doesn't really look that clean. Here, though, it was pretty nice. There was something pretty nice here. Don't know if anyone's seen this. Nice clean accumulation here. Pushed up, inverse that. Feather just went straight down. Very nice. Euro JPY, the could be something now. Now this could be a little fair value gap we're trying to form here. What's the bias on Euro JPY? Is it bearish? Yeah, it's bearish. 4 hour is bearish as well. 1 hour's bearish. Tell you what, we could take a trade here on Euro JPY. If we form the fair value gap and then inverse it, we could take that trade. We'll have to wait 5 minutes to see. GBP CAD. Let's have a look at GBP CAD. Yeah, I think it's the same thing really, isn't it? But it does look like a bit of an accumulation. I probably want to see a stronger push down if we're going to take anything there. I think Euro JPY is probably our best bet at the moment if we're going to take a trade. Let me just draw the accumulation out as well for people that, you know, are not familiar with that. A nice consolidation here. We then push up, form the fair value gap. Hopefully, we'll know in like 4 minutes. Then we look to inverse it. I mean, if we inverse it, what would the entry be? If we were to inverse this, we need something like there, stops up here. Take profit, where does that go? Because 1.1 at the other side of the accumulation. You know, I think trying to go for these swing lows is pretty unrealistic today. That's a 4R. I mean, in between that, you can go to this little consolidation we had over here, and that's 2R. I mean, that wouldn't, yeah, that makes sense. We'll probably close 75% of the trade here, though. At least. Move to break even. And then look to continue down to these lows on the other side of the first consolidation that we had. But that, you know, that depends on a lot of things. Like if we even form this fair value gap in 3 minutes, and then if we inverse it quick enough and clean enough to actually take the trade, you know what I mean? Because it's not just inversing it isn't enough. Take a look at USD JPY. Yeah, it's pretty dead. Can't lie, pretty dead. Euro JPY is pushing straight up. I don't like the look of this. But this could be the setup. This could be the setup. Everything else looks fine. You know what I mean? Everything else looks fine. We're 1 for 1 today. We've seen another trade that wasn't that good. We refused to take it and it lost, so we did the right thing there as well. Rwanda Traditional Games Federation. If that's you, Emmy, you just need to DM me on Discord. I think you won a funded account, and so did Blake and Melvin. Melvin DM'd me, got his funded account. I think if he's here, he can vouch for that. Blake, I haven't seen a DM off him, or Emmy. So if that's you, Emmy, I haven't blocked you. If you're messaging me, you just need to message me there. But please don't spam like that. You know. GBP CAD. There we are. GBP CAD could give us something now. Let's see how this goes. Senate about to vote yes to Trump's big beautiful bill. That could be fucking up the markets. Let's see what's going on there. I can't say anything. Is this it? It's breaking news on CNBC. Was that you, Emmy? Yeah, it was. I'll there you go then. So I see that now. So I'll sort it out after the stream finishes. Just got some ad blocker out. I think this is going to be the trade we're going to go for though on GBP CAD. If we get something like this again, though, I don't really like how this accumulation and the fair value gap are in the same place. I like to see it a little bit more distinct, like this. How do I? I can't see it as breaking news. Well, this is probably going to be the trade we're going to take if we... even that, I don't think it's worth taking, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty dead other than that. EJ is just continuing to push up. It's not giving us anything. GBP CAD could. GU was good. No, it wasn't. Sorry to say that so rude, but nah, it wasn't that good. I can't lie, it was not that good. It was not that good. There's no IFEG here. Maybe on the 1 minute. Not even that. There's no clear entry here. GJ is just completely reversed. Just going to enter GU but no fair value gap. Yeah, same. If we got the fair value gap, we could have took that. I think I drew that out, didn't I? But we didn't get one, so we just kind of ignored it. EJ is just shooting up, so I think that's a write-off here. GBP CAD is probably our only option at the moment, and this isn't even the cleanest of setups. You know what I mean? Not even the cleanest of setups. Like if we enter up here, you know, stop loss here, We're getting like a 0.75 going towards the 1 hour fair value gap. It's not even worth taking it. Is it GJPY against bias? I think so. Kind of, yeah. At least for the next 2.5 hours. You know, unless we invest this in that next candle. Yeah, we'll have to go break even at 1 hour. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could. Where would full TP be? Like up here, maybe? That's 2.2R, but I mean, is it reasonable? Doesn't seem to be. Let's see how this 4 minute closes. We could end up taking a trade here. If you're on TikTok, I'm after going to go off my phone now because we could be taking a trade and it's absolutely roasting. This phone is boiling. But, I mean, if you're on TikTok, go onto YouTube, Josh Williams FX. I'm live there every single day. So, yeah, see you there. If you're on Instagram as well, we're going to end the stream now. So I'm going to go onto YouTube. If you're on Instagram, search Josh Williams FX up and I'll see you on YouTube. There we are. We're fully on on YouTube now. A lot easier. The real members club. Like up the stream if you haven't already, guys. If you're going to take this trade, like up the stream. Let's see how many people are going to take the trade. Let's see that. How many likes are we even on? Probably like 20. Yeah, like up the stream, guys. Let's get to 30 likes. Let's see who's going to take this trade. If we invest the fair value gap, let's see who's going to take this trade. There's a few people. Looks like we're trying to respect this imbalance now. That's annoying. Everything else is just pumping straight up. CAD Swiss franc though, to be fair. CAD Swiss franc. I'm not going to take this because this is just too tight. It's like it's still in kind of the same range as the accumulation. You know what I mean? You can still argue that's an accumulation. USD/JPY just fucking dead. Excuse me. GBP CAD. Let's see. Yeah, so we've respected that fair value gap, which is annoying. We could do it on the next one though. There's still hope. We're going to set an alert for that. Euro CAD, not really worth it. Euro USD, nah. There was a setup, to be fair, but now, nah. Unfortunately not. Yeah, GBP CAD's pretty strongly respecting this fair value gap, isn't it? What's the bias on GBP CAD? So there is this daily fair value gap here, which right now we're disrespecting it, but the candle's not closed. So remember what I said about that, you have to wait for the candle's closed. So it's technically still bullish on the daily until the end of the day. The 4 hour is also in a 4 hour fair value gap right here, and also took lows, so it needs to retrace, so that's bullish. 2 hour the same, 1 hour is the exact same. It's took lows, so it needs to come back up, and this would be the fair value upward target, right? So the bias is pretty clearly bullish, you know what I mean? Like, there's no doubts about it. So yeah, I'd say it's strongly bullish. The bias, anyway. But this doesn't look too bullish. It's respecting this bearish fair value gap and the bearish candle coming off of it. Honestly, guys, I think what we're going to do is call it a day here. If we end up pushing down, what I want to see on GBP CAD is if we end up pushing down and forming another fair value gap and then inversing that one, that could be the play. But I mean, you know, for that, we're going to have to be in the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord already, join it right now. You'll get to learn, you know, alongside people in the course. You get to trade with them and with me. So if we do end up taking this, it will be in the Discord, right? But other than that, I'm pretty happy for today. You know, we've seen a few setups. Not all of them have been valid entries. Two of them have been valid entries, or 2 of them have been possible trades we could have took. One of them had a few contradictions. We didn't take that and it lost, so we did well by staying out of that trade. But more importantly, you know, we made a nice 1.6k based on a 100k account. 1.6% on GBPJPY sells today. You know, this is the trade. This is the trade. So pretty nice, you know, pretty nice trade. Can't really argue with that. Clear accumulation. These fair value gaps needed mitigating. We push up, inverse, respect this bearish fair value gap, which is obviously bearish, inverse a bullish fair value gap, which is bearish, and sweep highs, which is bearish as well, and manipulate up, which is bearish as well. Take our entry, and we're done in literally like 10 minutes or something like that. I think just under 10 minutes. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I'm glad to be back. It's good to be back. And I will see you all in tomorrow's stream for the 1st of July. So have a good one, guys. Have a good one. Like up the stream if you haven't already, and we're going to end it here. Okay, we're going to end the stream here. So like up if you haven't already. Say goodbye, and I will see you all tomorrow for tomorrow's stream. Thanks, guys.